Well, there you go. That's going to wrap up Packapalooza 5. I can't believe we made it to 5 Packapaloozas. Thank you all for hanging out with us. We went 7 hours this time. New record. That was awesome. Thank you to my co-host, Doug, from Don't Talk to Robots.
Thanks for having me. Epic time.
Yeah.
Blood, sweat, tears. It was awesome.
Totally worth it. All right. Well, let's sign it off, and we will remember to rock and roll.
Rock and roll.
Rock and roll.
Rock and roll. Did you turn it off? You cut it?
Yeah.
Okay, we're good.
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
Okay, so that was a good practice sesh. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, we always tell people that we only do it once a year, but I'm really glad we get this extra practice in, because if not, like, our jokes will be falling flat. Like, my pointing, you know, I got to work on that. You know, those kinds of things.
You got to flex. We got to flex our muscles. You know what I mean? Get it in, out of our system and stuff. I was a little surprised you wanted to do it tonight, though. Don't you still have to do that VR for Eddy?
That's tonight?
It's midnight. Yeah, so you have limited time.
Yeah. Well, I saw yours today.
Yeah.
But I was a little confused because you only showed like 5 cards. Like, I don't think you're going to get entered.
No, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Eddy just asked for 5 cards.
Well, I know, but in his video, he showed 5 cards, and then he showed another 5 cards.
Those were just examples.
Well, I know, but like, so because it's his 5-year anniversary, right?
Right.
Yeah. So 5 cards, and then times the other 5 cards. So you have to do 25. What? 20. Yeah, 5 times 5 is 25, right? Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Your math is correct, but it doesn't make any sense.
And then 25 sets of 5, and then because it's all about the 5s for his 5-year anniversary.
I feel like, you know what the kids would say? You're just extra. You remember that VR you did for Bronco?
Oh yeah, that was awesome. The bottom 99.
No, he was just asking for 9, not 99.
I don't know what I know about that. I'm pretty sure I read through the rules one more time. It was bottom 99. So
yeah, extra.
Well, I guess I probably should get to it. So are you saying it's only 5 cards I needed to do?
Yeah.
So like by right now, I could have been done with the video instead of having this really long intro.
Exactly.
Oh, well, I better get to it. So, okay. Practice next week, same time, same place. Work, tighten up that rock and roll a little bit. And yeah, I gotta get to this. Okay. Well, I guess we might as well get started with this. So what I've done is I've come up with different sets of cards that remind me of Eddy. And essentially the influence he's had on me as a collector and as a friend, which is awesome. So kind of want to show how our collecting lives intersect. And we're going to start here by taking a look at Eddy's main PCs. So we got Brooks Robinson, which Eddy's a huge Brooks fan. Of course, too, got to have the landscape cards oriented this way. So if they ever get, graded, they are showing the right way. Very important. Ricky Henderson collector extraordinaire. Got to meet Ricky at the National a couple years ago, and Eddy got his autograph, which is pretty sweet. Harvey Haddix, the kitten. I think probably the #1 Harvey Haddix collector that I know of. And also, I got this card autographed for Eddy a couple years ago, so that was kind of cool there. And then Mr. Mariner, of course, Alvin Davis. This just harkens back to kind of my earliest fanhood. So that's pretty awesome that he collects Alvin Davis. And then last but not least is Jackie Robinson here. And if you have not seen the Free Jackie project, you need to go and check out this video right here. Awesome thing that Eddy did was rally the card community together to give cards away to all of his students at his school. And pretty awesome. Totally inspirational that he was able to do that. So while we're counting down these top 5s, there's also we're going to do 5 videos. So we'll do my top 5 Eddy videos as well. So we're going to drill down into these PCs a little bit. You will be able to guess what these 5 cards have in common because I'm going to just tell you. So this first one is 5 Ricky Henderson cards. We got the Diamond King And then gotta throw in some Stadium Club. Eddie is a huge Stadium Club collector, so this is a nice charter member one there. And then number 2 Stadium Club got Ricky with Eddie Murray. Really love that card. Love the orange and the green. Looks awesome there. Then overlap onto some of my PCs. We got the 2014 Topps die cut 89 mini there with Ricky. And then last but not least, we got the 89 Topps traded PSA 9 Ricky Henderson. Gotta love that nice clean back there. This was one I got at the National from last year. So there's our 5 Ricky cards. So even more specifically, Eddie doesn't collect players, but he collects types of players. So we got Knuckleballers here with Wilbur Wood autographed on the 78. Of course, Eddie's a huge TTMer, which we'll get to also a little bit later. We got Tim Wakefield along with Andy Van Slyke and Jay Bell. Awesome Knuckleballer. Rest in peace. And Phil Necro, I feel like he's kind of the godfather of the modern Knuckleballer. Just iconic with his use of the pitch over the years. And then I really like this pinnacle card of Tom Candiotti showing his grip, which is pretty cool one there. And then last but not least on this set of 5, we got Charlie Huff on the Archives Signature Series on the 89 Topps. So a very legendary Knuckleballer in his own right. Next up, we got some more Stadium Club, and these are from 2019, and I've been working on getting these autographed. But Eddie has this run already done, so props to him, but he inspired me to go after these ones. Hall of Fame landscape cards from 2019 Stadium Club. So starting off here with Jim Palmer, need to go send that one off to get that one done. And then got Juan Marichal. That one looks awesome. Just such great photography. Who doesn't love Stadium Club photography? And Eddie, I would say, is the biggest fan also of Brooks Robinson. This is the iconic play from the 1970 World Series. And yeah, that's just one of my favorite cards ever. So it reminds me of Eddie. And then this one is actually one I just picked up. Saw this on eBay auction, threw a bid in just at whatever they had it listed at, and no one else bid on it. So the Dennis Eckersley 2 of 10. So thought that was kind of cool to pick that one up. And you may say, well, that's only 4. Well, there's a Ryan Sandberg right here that I need to purchase, but it's a short print, and then I need to get that one autographed. But this actually reminds me of another Eddie video when he was at Turf and Dirt in Bellingham. He bought a pack of Stadium Club. It was during the pandemic, and he pulled a Walker Buehler 1 of 1. So that was pretty cool. And they ended up flipping it for some cards he actually really wanted. So that was kind of cool to follow that journey there. Another thing to know about Eddie is that he likes to find an insert or type of card and just collect all of them. So this one is from Provision from Fleer, and I believe he has the entire run or is very close to completing that. So I've always enjoyed these cards, so cool to see that. This is another thing that Eddie, you've gotten me into, is these mini cards from 1975. Whenever I see these, I have to pick them up because they're so cool. They're just a little bit smaller, but awesome and amazing. So that is pretty cool. Also, Action Pack, the 3D embossed cards. We got Honus Wagner, the Flying Dutchman. So had to show off this one because Eddie is a huge Action Pack fan. And then my birthday twin, Satchel Paige. This is kind of a little 2-for-1. So there's actually 6 in this little set here. And then also the emotion cards. And Eddie put together a quite impressive run of these. He has tons of these signed TTM or through private signings. This is mine of Ozzie Smith. Of course, he is savvy, the wily veteran. And then another one, a Mariners fan favorite, Joey Cora on the 94 Flair. And this is Dufex. And if it's not, I think it is, but it's really close to looking like Dufex. But I looked it up. I'm pretty sure it is. But these are just so amazing. I never even think to like collect these cards specifically. So thank you to Eddie for pointing all these wonderful cards out. And we're going to keep it just rolling here because, you know what? Showing off one Provision card is not quite enough. We need to show off 5 Provision cards. So we got the Will Clark. We got the Darryl Strawberry. The Dwight Gooden with the Flaming Glove. Jose Canseco with the Lightning Bolt. And Bionic Bo Jackson. So there's another set of 5 Provisions. So now you got the 75 minis. Now I'm collecting minis all over the place. I got Tim Walk on the 88 Fleer. Andres Thomas on the 87 Fleer. Nolan Ryan on the throwback. Will Clark again, and an Ozzie Smith. So now, Eddie, you got me collecting mini cards. But you know what? That's not quite enough because you also like giant cards. And so now I'm collecting giant cards. So I got these 3 Ozzie Smith. I couldn't decide which one. These are all kind of like mediumly large cards from Donruss. I couldn't decide, so I just threw them all in. And then now I got all these ones. I got these giant Topps Supers of Ozzie Smith. And then we got the Diamond King, which of course is awesome. And then this cool one from Topps. I don't even know. It's numbered out of 49. So you collect big cards and small cards, and now I'm collecting those too. Eddie's also a fan of custom cards. Look at this one that he made, a mosaic of Ricky Henderson, and then he turned it into a card, which is really cool. So that is a very nice looking one. Look at all that information there on the back. So Eddie making custom cards, and you know what? That made me want to make this custom card because this was one that I did for a VR for Scott over at Reindeer Studios to make a custom relic card. This one's of Dinger, the Bellingham Bells mascot, and I just keep going now. Now I just collect custom cards. So this one's from Third Dan Art. You can check him out there on Instagram, an 82 Sandy Koufax. And then, of course, got to shout out Jay over at Local Hits with the Steve Searcy custom with the Coors beer can there. It's a 1-of-1. Of course, for the Steve Searcy Super Collection. And then one that Scott put together. This is kind of a overlap to a Eddy PC of Jackie Robinson. A very nice looking custom there as well. So now you got me collecting customs, Eddie. What's up with that? And then there's another type of custom. Of course, Eddie himself on his own custom card autographed. And now I have a PC of custom YouTuber cards. So we got leading off here with Eddie, we got Scott over at Reindeer Studios, of course, on his tobacco size card, because that is awesome. RJ Collects Sets hooked me up with this last Christmas with Michael Jack Smith at the Hall of Fame. Of course, myself, here's my baseball card from when I was growing up. Andrew Vandermeulen, 1990 season. I was 4'10" then, and that's an awesome one. And then, of course, this is a very secret behind the scenes. I hope this person does not get upset at me, but this is a first reveal of a Tony Black custom coming too soon to a mailbox near you. Go Cubs go. So just sorry, Tony, that I had to show that, but yeah. So now I'm collecting custom cards of YouTubers. So the other thing to know about Eddie is he loves collecting his vintage, and this is as vintage as it gets. Back to some T206s. It's Eddie Plank, but not spelled the right way, but we'll put it down there. We got Lewis, Sal Maggie, and on his tobacco card, Honus Wagner. Look at that one. That is worth 10. Oh, wait, never mind. It's just a reprint. And then we got Nap Lajoie. So Eddie loves his old school vintage, especially pre-war boxing. Last time I was at a card show with him, he's always looking for pre-war boxing, which is pretty cool. I don't have any of those, but I got all these ones. So now you got me collecting that, Eddie. Then the other thing too is Eddie loves TTMing and sending out autographs, and that's kind of the first thing that we connected on when I started on YouTube, and Eddie was a big, huge support of that for me and inspiration. So I want to show off some vintage TTMs. We've got Dick Groat, Carl Erskine, Benny Daniels on the Rookie Stars of 1959. Roy Face, love that one on the 60 Topps. And then Art Detmar, this is the oldest card I have autographed, is a old school Bowman, which is pretty awesome. So I then, just start jumping into getting vintage autograph signed because that's what Eddie's doing. And we gotta follow the lead and the inspiration that he is. So harkening back to this Eddy Plank card, Eddie likes to collect players who have the exact spelling of his name, Eddy. And that kind of launched me off into super collecting Andres Thomas because that's almost exactly like my name. And so I had to pick up this Desert Storm card of Andres Thomas. But you know what's better than close to your first name? It's exactly your first and middle name, Andy Thomas. So I have a super collection of Andy Thomas now, all thanks to Eddy. And it's even worn off my boys, Preston. We got a Preston Wilson card here. We also have a Cooper Hummel autograph on the holiday. And then Preston's actually, his nickname is Buddy. So he started collecting Buddy Kennedy. And this is all thanks to Eddy, all of these cards, because I never would have got the idea to super collect someone that has a similar name to me unless I would have followed Eddy. So the other thing that Eddy got me into was collecting cards from players born in Washington State. He loves his Earls of Snohomish and any Hall of Famers that are born in Washington. Grady Sizemore is a favorite of mine. I actually played basketball against him in high school. His career ended much too soon due to injuries, but a great player nonetheless. We got Ron Say. He was born in Tacoma, and he actually attended Western Washington University, which is in Bellingham, which leads me to my next card, Ty Taubenheim. He's born in Bellingham too, only a few months younger than me, and he pitched in the mid-2000s. But going back one more to the second major leaguer from Bellingham, we got Roger Repos. You can see right here, hometown, Bellingham, Washington. I have the super collection of him, but then it all starts with Clarence Cuddles Marshall. He, of course, was born in Bellingham. I have a super collection of him because he only has like 8 cards, and I have 3 of them. So, and there you go. Cuddles is his name, and Washington is his game. So that is a nice little run there. Eddy not only loves players from Washington, but specifically Seattle sports teams. So we're going to do a countdown of Mariners TTM autos. We got Rich Amaral, utility player extraordinaire, Mark McLemore, who really just redefined that and took it to the next level as a utility player. Billy Swift, traded too soon, along with Eric Hansen. Imagine them on that 95 team. He was a rated rookie. And then the best Mariners manager in history, Lou Piniella, 2-time manager of the year in 95 and 2001, leading that 95 team to the playoffs. But you know what? It's not just Mariners that he follows. He's also a huge Sonics fan. So we got Dennis Johnson. We got Downtown Freddie Brown, Gus Williams, Jack Sikma. And then I believe this was my first ever in-person autograph of Dale Ellis, the very dead ballpoint pen from the 89 NBA All-Star Game set from Hoops. So there's 5 Sonics cards, but it doesn't stop with Sonics because it goes to the Seahawks as well. We got Cortez Kennedy and Terry Wooden on the action pack cards. Look at those ones. Those are stellar. And then we got Dave Craig on the Domino's Pizza, Brian the Boz Bosworth, and Steve Largent on these giant cards. I mean, how is Eddy not loving the Seattle connections here? But it goes even deeper than that. We're not just settling with current Seattle sports teams. We got the Pilots. We got Greg Goosen. We got John Gelnar, Rich Rollins, Gary Bell, and Dave Baldwin. All Pilot autographs or just Pilot cards. Eddy loves them all. And you know what? Now I do too. There is one thing, though, that Eddy does not love, and that's the New York American League team. And this is 5 players who started their career with the Mariners and then were traded or signed as free agents with that dreaded New York American League team for the name to not be said on anybody's channel. So we got Tino Martinez, heartbreaking day when he got traded. We got Randy Johnson, the big unit, pitching in the Kingdom. And then A-Rod, he had a certain name after he'd signed with the Rangers. But once he went to the New York American League team, he was kind of enemy 0. Look at that. Look at this. Enemy number 1. 0 home runs. Like, come on, can't root for him anymore. I mean, Ichiro, okay, we can still root for Ichiro. And this is on this awesome Fleer doubleheader with Hideo Nomo. I know that Eddy loves collecting these cards. And then this moment right here, Sweet Justice, Mark Langston, former Mariner, giving up the inside the park Little League Grand Slam to Luis Sojo in game 163, the play-in in 95. He did go on to play for that New York American League team. But this is all I remember of him. That's all. And because, you know what? All these players, I remember them as Mariners, not of that other team. But you know what? There are some players that played for that dreaded New York American League team that really made their career once they joined the Mariners. So we got Jay Buhner on the 88 Tops traded. Robinson Cano, remember when he signed that giant contract and was good for like 3 years, and then, you know, all that other stuff happened. But, you know, he had some nice years in Seattle. We got Ken Griffey on the 84 Donruss. I mean, if he hadn't come to the Mariners, would Griffey Jr. ever been the player he was? Rich Goose Gossage really just kind of put the icing on the cake with his 1 year in Seattle in the mid-90s. And then we got Ricky Henderson, of course. He played for basically every team in the league, but started with that New York American League team, but ended up on his way to the Mariners. And this reminds me, this yellowed top loader reminds me of an awesome video where Eddy was looking for some sponsorships and maybe laugh out loud. I just want to watch this. That's the kind of content that I love on YouTube, is things like this, poking fun at things of the hobby. And I just left this card in there because you should definitely check out that video right there. Here are a few cards where Eddy either purchased it for me or are Eddy adjacent. This is actually from a video right up here where we went to Turf and Dirt and had a little pack war. I won the pack war, and it included this fan favorites autograph of Jared Weaver. So we got the redemption and the card there. His head's cut off a little bit, but that's a pretty awesome one. And then this one from this last Christmas, the Santa Kemp. Love this. I love that you sent this to everybody because it is an iconic card. I can't believe he's dressed up like Santa Claus. And then, of course, this one really, it counts as 2 cards because one, you got the card and then it's graded. There's several cards that I'm sure Eddy's given to me over the years, but by far this is my most favorite, is the 89 Topps Tiffany Ozzie Smith. Look at that white cardstock goodness. He just nailed it on so many levels on my PC, which is awesome. So thank you, Eddy, for all those awesome presents from over the years. All right, we're getting down to it. We're going to count down the best Mariners ever. Got to start off with Alvin Davis, Mr. Mariner, on the 89's mini leaders, the 89 O-Pee-Chee, and the autographed 1989 Topps. So that counts as 1 because that's Alvin Davis. And then Edgar Martinez, the double. Can you really get better than that? Hall of Famer, the best DH of all time. Of course, it's Edgar Martinez. We got Jay Buhner on the 89 Rookie Cup card. This one I just recently picked up in the Signature Series because you know you have a problem when you buy a card the second time, basically, so you can have it serial numbered. But look, it's serial numbered to 89. How could I pass that up? Then the best pitcher in Mariners history, of course, Randy Johnson on the 89 Topps traded. That one is looking nice as well. And then, no questions asked, the best Mariner of all time, of course, Ken Griffey Jr. here on the 89 Topps traded. Beckett authenticated to 10. Just love that card, and just have the excuse to show it off. So that's my countdown of Mariners greats from history. But wait, we're at 24. We need one more. Did I miss it? No, here. Just hold on a second. So in wrapping up, I wanted to do the top 5 things that I have learned from Eddy over the years. Just from his friendship and his advice and just how he carries himself in the card community and just as a collector from all of his years of experience. So number 1, collect what you love. It seems obvious, but so many people can get caught up into, chasing something that other people love, but just collect what you love. And this really brought home to me when he was just went on a simple walk on a trail near his house and just kind of kind of laid it all out there. And that really kind of influenced me, kind of a pivotal part of my collecting experience, where I was like, I just need to focus on what I love. I love 89 Tops. Let's just go for it and collect that. So check out that video because that's an awesome one. The next one up is what he signs off every single video. We don't count subscribers, we count friends. And that is so true in card community land. It's very easy to get caught up in views or who's watching it and what do they think about it, all those kinds of things. But really, I feel like Eddy just is doing it for the love of creating and sharing what his collection with others. And I've really enjoyed that about him and getting to know him better, that it doesn't matter how many views you have, as long as one person enjoys it, that's enough. So number 3, this one really hit home during the pandemic. Retail is a ripoff. When there was no cards to be found, and when I would find them on the shelves, I'd be like, I gotta buy it because it's super hard to find. But then I realized, really kind of from listening to Eddy, from listening to some other people. So number 3, this one kind of really sunk home during the pandemic, is that retail is a ripoff. I would go out hunting for cards because they were nowhere to be found. I would find something, I'd be like, I gotta buy it because that's the only one I found. And I would open it up and be like, oh, well, I don't really want those cards. And it kind of goes back to number 1, collect what you love. And I kind of made that shift after listening to Eddy and kind of how, his take on retail and kind of how he builds his collection, that, you know what, I'm just going to focus on the cards I like. I'm going to take that 5, 10, 25 bucks that I would spend on a blaster box and just go buy a card that I actually like. So that's what I gleaned from Eddy. But you know what? Ripping packs is still fun. So do that every once in a while because it's still an awesome experience. And that's how we all got into collecting. So retail's a ripoff, but rip a pack every once in a while. So number 4 is focus, focus, focus. And this one I really learned from Eddy because he is always looking, kind of coming up with a plan. Hey, I got this card that I really want to get. How am I going to get there? If I save up my pennies, if I don't, buy that, if I don't buy that, I can, buy these really nice cards to add to my collection and really build that out. And that really helped me as a younger collector kind of say, I'm going to say no to these things. I'm going to just focus on really what I want. And you could add really cool cards like this 89 Topps Ken Griffey Jr. autograph. I feel like that is part of Eddy's influence on the card community, is that, being focused, you can really build an awesome collection. And number 5, probably the most important, always use blue tape.